This is The Parker's Couch, a podcast delivering real talk, real laughs, with no limits. Featuring Cameron, Carlin, and Carl, the Parker brothers.
Gentlemen like RG3 and ladies like Candace Owens that make a conscientious effort to divest from the black community, and they use their platforms to denigrate their own race, specifically black women. Do you feel like they should have a space to comment on things like this?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on with my brothers today?
What up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
It's the most handsome, the most debonair, back at it again.
Oh, I love the energy. He got it. Sometimes he's a little smooth with it. It's a little subtle. This time he felt it. I think he really believes it.
He believed it this time.
Why?
The belief is forming. Oh man. You know what? Right before we got on today, I was reading something crazy. Have y'all been following the Diddy situation?
I refuse.
I have.
I refuse to.
Not you refuse.
I refuse to because he deserves everything he's gonna get.
Look, I didn't think it could get any crazier because I had covered a lot of the court cases and stuff and things that's coming out against him. But the sex workers are speaking now. That's what's going on. So they had another sex worker speak today. How about they said this Negro dressed up like a Muslim woman during one of the sessions so he could stand by and coach what to do to Cassie. Incognito.
Whoa.
He's all the way freak.
Now I thought my freak level was a 10 at one point. I think I'm a 1.5 at this point. They have moved the needle.
He is locked away freak.
Yeah.
He needs to be locked away.
Absolutely. This is going from, I'm like, where are the RICO charges? This is just all like freak off going on.
Yeah, he that's what I refuse to be a part of it. I don't want none of that bad juju coming off of me because he's got it.
Absolutely. All right.
Can Annabelle make a visit to a certain prison?
Oh gosh.
Well, brothers, we're going to start off today. We're going to start off with our For the Culture segment. Now, this is the segment that we just introduced recently where we get into topics that are important, that could be controversial, but need to be talked about within our community. And they're just lively conversations that happen. So I think it is a great opportunity to start with our future sponsored segment. I'm going to say it there because this is going to be a sponsored segment one day.
All right. Come on. Speak it into existence.
That's right. Because who just hit 1,000 downloads?
Woohoo! We
We did.
The Parker's Couch. That's right. Celebration.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Yes. So for today, for our For the Culture segment, I want to get into this Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark situation that has just ballooned. Okay, the WNBA has started back up, and it should just be celebrating the women, right? Talking about the good games and how competitive things are going to see what trajectory is going to go around. And of course, the WNBA is smart. So they have Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese face off for game one. The Fever absolutely destroyed the Sky, but that's another subject. But all the talk is around the flagrant foul that happened when Caitlin Clark knocked Angel Reese to the ground. And Angel Reese got up in frustration, and started going after her a little bit. I didn't think anything else of it. I was like, oh, this is great. This is great for the league. I love seeing this. The women are still playing physical. And, it's ain't no love lost out there. So all you've heard all week is a lot of commentary going a bunch of different ways about this. And I'm going to get into specifically Ryan Clark versus RG3 on this situation. I want to get y'all thoughts on the flagrant foul, but then I also want to get your thoughts around this whole situation with RG3 and Ryan Clark. I'm going to play some clips to set it up so everyone is aware of what went down. Everything started off with a tweet from RG3 when he first said, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there's no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. Now that prompted Ryan Clark to get in there and proceed to light RG3's ass up. So let's listen to what Ryan Clark had to say.
When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back, amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady. I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. And I think this is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racist, he'll be no less Black than me.
Red.
Red. So RG3, fellas, did have a response. So let's go ahead and see how RG3 responded to Ryan Clark after that message.
Must we?
I guess we must.
Okay.
But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. Ryan, you attacked me and my family in a public forum on a level that shows just how low of a human being you are. You can disagree with me all you want, challenge my takes, but keep my family and my wife out of it. That's a boundary that should always be respected. Always.
Can we cue the um, dramatic music and the violins for RG3 real quick?
Oh, he's such a martyr. Oh, so he's so persecuted.
Uh, there is a. I better not say that. I'm not going to say that one. But there's a song out. There's a song out there that should be played after that, and it just goes like, "Look at the." Mm,
Tap tap dancing away.
mhm. Look
Oh,
at the.
brothers,
Mm.
brothers, how? All right, let's back up a minute. And Carly, I'm gonna end up coming to you to pose a question that you're gonna have for us. But let's start at the beginning. Flagrant foul, basketball. What was y'all first reaction to seeing that?
Hey, get after. That's it. Happens in the men's game. You know when there's a hard foul. You know somebody takes exception to it, and it's all just hey, one good athlete challenging another good athlete, and nobody's backing down. It's a move on. What what else is there? What else is there to say behind it?
That's exactly kind of what Adrian Reese said too, right? Refs got it right. Move on.
I
Like,
mean, just move on. But here we are. The WNBA is making an old play. They saw the NBA do it with Magic and Larry. I mean, it's but it's demonizing Angel Reese and you know minimizing actually her athletic prowess, her abilities,
yes.
and um, we're making her out to be a monster when she's not.
And now, in the same now, Carl, you are a little older. So as you think about like how the magic bird, because I don't, I know like what I know just from seeing in clips and how they went out after it and things like that. And of course, we don't have was it social media and all these things and all these outlets around this thing. But what was the general feeling? Was it kind of like, because this one is all about how Angel is a demon and Caitlyn is like perfect. Was it kind of framed in those same kind of ways with the Magic Bird?
Well, Magic wasn't demonized as much as Angel is because he had the $1 million smile and everything, but it was more or less it was really just black versus white. Um, you know, glamour versus blue collar. You know,
Hmm.
Larry Bird was seen as a blue collar guy, um, and Magic was deemed as you know pretty boy, flashy, whatever. Um, and um, and it was always black versus white.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. Is just one sector versus another sector, and it became racially motivated, especially um, in Boston. You know, with Larry being from Hicksville, Indiana, and Terre Haute, you know that was that didn't do anything but stoke the fire.
I'll give Bird a little bit of credit though. He was a little different about it. He played to the race thing. When I say that, he would tell the black players whenever a white person was on him, "Hey, you disrespecting me by putting a white player on me. Like, how dare you put a white guy on me?" I can imagine Caitlyn saying something like that. You know,
Yeah,
Larry, like, he wanted to be one of the boys. Like, my game, I want my game to be respected, like your game is. Even though I'm a white boy, I can hang with y'all black boys. Why you putting this white boy on me with no skill?
yeah. Larry was. I mean, the way he approached it in a totally different manner. I think Caitlyn does. I mean, although she does say some, you know, some things to glorify or give some of the African American women that came before her, you know, some deference and some reverence. Uh, she she still, um, to me, she's arrogant. She's bratty, and um, she plays to her whiteness. She's relishing in her whiteness right now.
Mm. Relishing in her whiteness right now. It, but some of that might be like. Do you think some of that is? Would y'all say is like conscious or unconscious, just by virtue of what's been? Like, would she even realize some of that?
Let's be real, brothers. If she was a sister, she'd be just another ball player, another sister.
That's true. Oh no, that's a 1,000% fact.
She's the Adele
Because
of basketball of the WNBA.
she, I could name 5 different players right now that she couldn't hold a candle to, and we won't even mention them in the same breath.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Uh,
That's true.
just think about it. And so, yes, she is relishing in her whiteness because if she was not white, she wouldn't. We would not be having these conversations right now. That's why we have white versus black right now. There's there's um, a white girl that is able to showcase some abilities at a high level, and white people understand that this is a sport that African Americans, black people, have thoroughly dominated. And so, for
Fair.
them to have a white hope like her, you know, it propels her, it puts her up on a pedestal, and
Yeah.
if she was not white, we wouldn't be having these conversations.
I want to make this point before we move on. You know, this goes back to the conversation we had when this rivalry first started, and we talked about the WNBA and how physical it is. I think for the casual fan, they don't respect the physicality of the WNBA. They think just as because it's a bunch of women that they're not out there balling hard. But I will argue that WNBA is probably more physical than the NBA is right now.
It
You
is.
know,
Oh yeah.
We talked about that a
Yeah.
while back.
A
exactly.
1,000%.
A
G-
thousand
Agree.
percent.
Girls
So
play
to,
harder than boys.
exactly.
They
So to me,
do.
I think it's really weird for these casual fans to be all up in arms about this. I think it looked bad because Caitlyn didn't stand in that foul. She fouled her hard and then turned her back and retreated. So when Angel went after her, it looks like she was trying to chase her down. So just for it gives fodder for the
Mm.
racists to be like, "Oh, look at
Mhm.
her chasing down the white woman,"
Mhm.
because Caitlyn didn't stand her ground. If you're gonna commit that hard foul, stand in that hard foul. Don't
Yeah.
run a retreat. That's what how brother was talking about. Carl was talking about her white privilege. She had a privilege to just walk away and act like, hey. It's no big deal. I'm Caitlyn, and she didn't have to stand in it. And Angel has to defend herself because it's a hard foul. Of course, she'll be upset. And then I love Aaliyah Boston, but I didn't appreciate her coming after Angel Reese. Protect your teammate. Don't come and try to hold down Angel. Let her teammates get her. So to me, all that, just how it looked. It let me say this: it gave the racists a reason to say, "Hey, look at that angry black woman," and that's what I didn't like about it because of the aesthetics of it.
Look, my brothers are making points. I can't even really play devil's advocate here. Like these are points. Points are being noted. They're being taken in. And that leads me to get into the RG3 of it all. Like one thing I know that bugged me. Number one, this is coming besides being a black man already, but another professional athlete. And what you was talking about, what it looks like in another clip, he literally says that Angel Reese tried to sucker punch Caitlin Clark. I'm like, huh? What is the interpretation here of him talking about hate and using that word hate over and over, like she hates Caitlin Clark?
Well, he's pandering to his constituents. He he's he's in that realm of the Trump lovers and stuff like that, and he he has his conservative views. He's embarrassing, really and truly. Um, like he made a statement about Dr. King, and I'm sick and tired of these, these guys, especially these Trump lovers and black Trump lovers, about the content of your character and
Oh, of
not a
course.
color. They do not talk about the rebellious Dr. King,
They do
the
not.
one that said he hated that he said those things because he felt like he led his people into the fox's den. Uh, so he they don't talk about that Dr.
No,
King that white people hated and that white people kill. Uh,
absolutely. They forget the man. Everybody hated him. He was
yeah,
not beloved. I'm
yeah. So um, he, I hate when they utilize that
Me too.
right there. 'Cause,
I literally just had this conversation last night with somebody.
uh,
That's what
so he is in that conservative playbook. I mean, you can you can just about strip everything that these people say,
Yep.
and all his stuff was scripted. Now Ryan ate him up. He told him exactly what it was. You
Yeah,
know, there that is there is nowhere near hate in what that was. And how how can he say that being a professional athlete, knowing that sometimes these athletes are told to play up to things?
Thank you.
absolutely.
They're coached that way.
They're coached that way by the league to say, okay, hey, this is a big time game. Your rivals, we need to see that you're rivals.
Play with that passion, that emotion. What is she supposed to roll over? Like, and it's not lost on her. Like, this is even if they don't want to have a rivalry, it's already been built. It's
It's
already in
Chicago,
place. That's
Indiana.
It,
It's a
it's
built-in
already
rivalry.
it's already been built.
it's there.
They they have been cooking this up since they were in college.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
uh,
And
I,
and and, and Carlin, I did want to go with you with the Ryan Clark end of it all because I know it led you to some question and stuff you wanted to pose, but I wanted to get your interpretation of everything too.
Okay. I mean, I could really agree with Carl. He nailed pretty much every point that I wanted to say. I totally agree with everything he had to say about RG3 is definitely making a play for Fox Sports or something in that area because he got dismissed from ESPN. So he's trying to be with the Jason Whitlocks and
Mm. Mm-hmm.
guys. It's like a cookie cutter. They all say the same thing, like Carl said. They all follow the same script.
Yep.
They all pander to the worst of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're tap dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both angles. Hey, look at me. And what I really despise, oh my God, just to view his wife in the background, just cheer him on, just cheerleading. You, it's just historically, it sickens me because I say this all the time that white women get such a pass in this country, but white women have not all white women. I don't want to say this about all white women, but this is the ones that this applies to. White women white women are the reason is the reason why racism is still exists in this country the way it does. Because they're the nurturers, they're the teachers, they're the ones that are raising their kids with this venomous hate. They're the ones that are going around crying foul. Look at all these Karens that you see popping around everywhere around the country, saying the worst things, calling people the N word, calling little kids the N word, babies, old people. It don't matter. And then act like the victim, like cry foul, like somebody's doing them wrong. So to see her cheering in the background, like "Go get him, baby," yeah, that's right, was just
It- They
disgusting.
have been the bane, or I would say, if you look back at the majority of um, like our historical differences, a white woman was involved in
A
and
lot.
and and started a lot of drama.
Mm-hmm.
Emmett Till, you could look at what happened at Black Wall Street. All that stemmed from a white woman saying she was accosted.
Rosewood,
Rosewood. I mean, you could just go down the list.
the Wilmington event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all of it.
That's
all
so true. And even if you look at even the way that they're used, even if it's fiction, because you look at the birth of a nation and like
yeah,
what
Yep,
gave the rise of the KKK again, it was
exactly.
like using a
exactly,
white woman in that
That's
film
right.
being
exactly.
brutally attacked.
And our brothers
Hmm.
out here desiring that. It's out
And
of control. I'm sorry, it's just out of control.
Oh,
And this,
go ahead.
I guess, a good segue to the question I want to pose to you guys. Like, gentlemen like RG3 and ladies like Candace Owens that make a conscientious effort to divest from the black community and to find love in other places, which is totally their right. Not saying there's anything wrong with interracial dating or interracial marriage, but when they do that and they use their platforms to denigrate their own race, specifically black women, do you feel like they should be have a space to comment on things like this, especially with someone like Angel Reese, who's already, that the racists hate her. Like that's the reason why she left LSU early, was because of the racism she was facing. She said, "I'm going to go pro," and you add that with your venomous talk, calling, "Hey, she clearly hates this woman," which you can't. It's not a fact. That's your opinion. Like, should we even listen to people like this when they have these kind of opinions?
It's a hard no for me. Like we should not. It should be a collective. All right, I say like in a principle thing, America is America. Everybody got their voice. You could put out, what you could say. You can't stop someone from speaking and sharing an opinion, blah, blah, blah. However, there should be a collective like reaction from our community when these things happen that drowns out their voices, where our voices are louder, because it really does piss me off with this, because Ryan Clark was absolutely right, and people have been willfully ignorant about his comments, because and RG3 too, because he said nothing wrong with it. He did not attack his family or go after his wife or anything of that. But no, he was challenging you, RG3, and other men like you who do date outside their race, who in return neglect and denigrate black women in your own race. You don't have to. It's almost like he said it perfectly, when it's this sense that they feel like they have to uplift their woman so much and downgrade like black women in the same vein, as if they're trying to prove something to themselves, or like, I don't know, like some kind of acceptance, as if they're trying to convince something in their own minds. There's some psychology behind that's got to be some interesting psyche, but it really it bugs me, because I really do judge black men on how they treat black women and the things that they say, because I do think that is very, very important. That I feel, I don't know how y'all feel. I don't know. I don't see how you don't feel as a black man like some kind of need to protect like black women, or some need to like really be there for them and guide them. You know, us as a whole race, yes, but even that woman, yeah, you could be critical. Of course, we're critical of black women, right? With some things, and you can do
Yes.
that, but we are gonna uplift black women far more than anything else. And to know the hate and the racism that Angel Reese already receives, and that she has received, as it is that the WNBA had to even come out on that, but he has zero concern for that. He doesn't even acknowledge any of that. And so I have a big problem with it. So I'm gonna go with no. They need to just shut their asses up and, I don't know, find another lane. Do not comment on black women.
It's a no for me. I mean, you can't be born of a black woman and then you go out here and denigrate one. I mean, this, like you said, Cameron, you can be critical, but I mean, when you start going down this lane where you're just demoralizing and demonizing a black woman and trying to elevate a white woman over that black woman, that that is that is beyond unacceptable. So I agree. No, for me, um, you cannot, you should not have a voice um, in our community when you step outside. You made your choice. You stepped out of the community, outside of the race. Hey, I don't I don't have anything against that. You know, you do your thing. But for me, it's a black queen for me, and I'm gonna pump up a queen, a black queen. I'm pumping up that black queen. I am not, and well, Rosie B. That's all I'm gonna
Absolutely.
say.
Woo. If Rosie B was
Absolutely.
allowed today to see this,
That,
boy,
that, that
we would have a
that's
good
all I'm gonna
conversation
say.
on this one.
Rosie B. Get, uh, and she would have a lot to say about this subject right here. But
Yes.
um, I agree with you, Cameron. Ryan Clark said it eloquently. RG3, I'm just embarrassed.
So embarrassed.
I was just being
Um,
obtuse. Like to think, and to throw your family up there as a shield is just disgusting. Be
So
a man.
disgusting.
yeah. Talking about he was going after his family. If anything, he was elevating your woman.
He said
He
she's
totally
born in her skin
elevated
Yeah,
color.
her.
He said your
yeah,
wife is born in her skin color. She's a wonderful woman.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was like, you reducing your wife
You
to
reducing
only
her
her
to
skin
skin
color.
color.
You talking about her skin color? I met her, and I think she's more than that. That's exactly what he said. I mean, so um,
And let's be clear. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, Ryan Clark first child is biracial.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he like so. I don't. He's married to a black woman and stuff now, but yeah,
And you
like
show
yeah,
pictures of her today, a beautiful, beautiful biracial girl. But she looks at her blackness. She has locks. So you can tell that somebody in her family showed her how to respect her melanin. And he was
Mm-hmm.
questioning RG3 because these kids have a white mom and they're all girls. And we
Yeah.
just know that they're not going to get the nurture they need from that
Yeah.
white mother to help raise that melanated part of them.
yeah. And I didn't want to leave you out, Carlin. Before we move on, did you? What was your answer to the question?
I think mixed people should stay in mixed people business. And you fight for your family and
Biracial
your
causes.
mixed roots.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's go on to some other racial things happening real quick. Dive into some politics real fast. Today at the White House, Trump welcomed the South African president into the White House, and they were engaged in a tense back and forth in the White House over Trump's false claims of genocide against white South African farmers. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, this is what's been going on. Trump issued the executive order back in February to let in white South Africans into the U.S., saying that they are classifying them as refugees. And they started coming in last week into the country. But in a rare scene in the Oval Office, Trump decided to play a montage of videos to the president, surprising him that he had no idea this was coming. But it was a poor compilation of old videos and a complete lie. But there were videos from a minority party in South Africa that was having chants that went along to kind of like kill the white farmer or whatever you would say. But if you understand apartheid, everything that's happening in South Africa, that's a long history and everything to get into. The government has been outspoken about these things and that the majority does not agree with these things, but they do understand that, like Africa is a unique country. It has been through a lot, and it is he said, even in the White House today, unfortunately, this is criminality within South Africa. But he let Trump know that the majority of the people being killed are not white people, they are black people. That is the majority that is being killed in South Africa. And also in South Africa, even though white people represent 7% of the population, they still own 70% of the land. But what do y'all think about this whole like white South African kind of thing? And the White House thing was just so embarrassing today. And it was just so like, it was, if you haven't watched, just read an article. Y'all read an article what happened. I don't want you to have to go back and watch that display that happened in the White House. I'm just so embarrassed to be living here.
Well, hey, one colonizer to another. I'm gonna bring you on in here. He said he said white South Africans are going to be considered refugees, right?
Yeah.
But all the while, he wants to send these Hispanics and anybody of color out of here.
He elevated them before anybody else. Like just
Yeah.
dismiss, is and making it harder for all the black and brown people to come into the country. So
So, and all you black and brown people that voted for him, I hope you're picking up what he's putting down. He's telling you straight up what he is.
All I can think of is that song. I didn't know the lepers were going to eat my face because all these white people on these farms that voted for Donald Trump and losing their land, guess who's going to come up and scoop them up?
Mm-hmm.
These South Africans,
Mm-hmm.
Trump and JD Vance played y'all so hard. JD Vance, before he became president, invested in something called Acre Trader, which goes around and buys up all this farmland.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who he invested it with? Oh, South Africans. Oh,
Wow.
Nebraska. Once you lose
Wow.
your farm, you see what's going on in Nebraska is a shame.
It
All these
is.
poor Trump voters. Oh, we voted for Trump, and look at us now. Just take a drive by and see who's going to be owning that farm. They're going to be white, but they're probably going to be a South African.
And I really wonder the ties that they have to Elon Musk. I wonder what's going on. Like the
Oh, it's all
There
ones that
it's
you
are
all working
being
go. There
together,
you go, Cameron.
tied
like
all
Tie it all
together
in.
in
Tie
a
it all
pretty little
in.
bow.
he was
And
there. He was there in the White House, just sitting there back there, not saying a word, but just glowing. And Trump, Mitch is like, I don't want to pull him in, but Elon Musk, he's from South Africa, and he made a comment like, "This is what he wanted."
yep,
Trump be saying the quiet things out
it's
loud
all work.
all the
They
time.
say if you pay attention, they tell on themselves
I mean, they
to
put it
let you know
right
what they're
there.
doing.
He ain't hiding nothing.
No, he ain't had nothing. But they use the oldest playbook around. Let's turn the white people against everybody else, the poor whites or the working class whites, and we're gonna come in and take their stuff right from under them. Thanks for voting for me, and we're gonna take away the benefits. And guess who we're gonna give them to? Oh, the new South Africans coming here. You immigrant?
Yeah.
Oh, you need some money for this farm to get it started? Oh, we got plenty of money.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's so true. You know what this dummy did too? He all this time talking about all this genocide, this and that. You know, one part of the video he was playing like the crosses and saying, "Oh, look, all these are burial sites of all these white people. Thousands of white people. I've never seen nothing like it." Which it was later reported that was like some kind of protest demonstration. It was not burials and stuff out there that they were doing. But anyway, he was talking all this genocide. Then they asked him questions about afterwards, like, well, there's genocide in South Africa. Are you comfortable with making that statement or whatever? At the end, he was like, I have not made my I haven't made a decision on that.
Oh my
He
goodness.
talks off the both sides of his mouth,
More than
Oh
having
my.
anybody
kids
in his
all the time.
truth
But
is not truth. It doesn't even matter. He could have put anything on the screen, and the people that support him will believe it.
man, all it is, brothers, is self-preservation.
Yes.
Mm,
It is self-preservation.
mm-hmm.
The, these guys are making a preemptive strike just to um, preserve whiteness right now.
Because they know
It's
America's coming to
obvious.
South Africa, basically. They
Yeah,
want to have minority
They
rule here because they're going to
yeah
be the minority.
that has
they
been a play for a
understand.
while going on, and
Yes.
it's just
That's
taking
been the
so many
play
different
for a
levels.
while
Yeah.
because it was shifting so fast on them. They had to do something.
Yeah. No, that's true. You know, when South Africa made a move too before this meeting. I don't know if y'all saw yesterday. I hate whenever this is one of the things that bugs me with the African nations. And whenever our people just try to still coddle towards white folks as if it's going to
Yes,
be a benefit.
yes,
And I don't know if y'all followed how much Elon has been like talking about his Starlink thing in South Africa and how he can't get it approved because of their racist laws and because he's not black. But South Africa has a law post apartheid that any business that comes in must have 30% of black South Africans within its ownership. So you can't put a business in South Africa unless you abide by this law. And at least 30% of black South Africans have to be a part of it, which I think is a great thing to try to even some stuff out. So Starlink could never get approved. And because Elon never lived up to this mandate, but he was blaming it on racist laws. yesterday, how about they caved and made some kind of exception for Elon Musk for now Starlink to be able to operate in South Africa. And then you see what happens whenever you come into the White House. You get played in your face. You make a move like that thinking like you're going to do something, and then you get called out for having white genocide in your country and doing
That's how
nothing
they
about
do
it.
it. They
Why,
get them every time.
why do we do that to ourselves?
They bend
Why
the
do we
knee.
do that to ourselves, brothers? Uh, It's embarrassing what we do to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It is,
Embarrassing.
It is totally embarrassing. This is a black nation.
yes.
Africa is a black nation. Why even pander to someone that is trying to colonize your
Why?
nation?
Like you
Ma-
don't need him. You really don't. Like we are brilliant people on our own. Like we are
that,
creators. We are all this. I'm just so
exactly.
confused.
And letting them and the Chinese. Don't leave them
Yes.
out either.
Oh, the
Yes. We
Chinese
cannot
are
leave out the
doing.
Chinese.
They are doing a job.
They own
And
like
the
all of
Russians,
Africa
the
pretty much at this
Russians and the
point.
Chinese
Yes.
Yes.
are doing a job.
What
I,
I don't
yeah.
understand what happened to us over there.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. Y'all not gonna like this answer.
Go for it.
The peaceful white Christians come
Oh,
in
the
to spread
missionary work.
missionary work, spreading Christianity throughout the world
Oh
in
God.
Jesus' name, and come
Why?
in and rob,
Why in Jesus'
steal,
name?
and kill. Sorry, it's just the truth. The missionaries were mercenaries.
Oh,
Yeah. That is
well,
a big
that
element.
that's a big element that happened with the Crusades and everything. That's not you're not far off on that.
It's like y'all don't know who God is. Y'all don't know. We're gonna teach you,
Mm-hmm.
even though you are where life started.
Even though
Was
Christianity started on this continent, we're gonna tell you what Christianity really is. We know better.
Exactly.
well, y'all. Let's move on to a little bit of hoops since we are here. You know, the Knicks are going tonight. We got OKC that won the first game of this series, but do want to let you know that SGA is the MVP. After winning his first scoring title and leading the Oklahoma City Thunder to the league high 68 wins, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander earned his first NBA MVP award, and it was announced Wednesday. The league officially announced the honor Wednesday night, a few nights after Gilgeous-Alexander's Thunder defeated Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. So he got 71 out of the 100 first place votes. Joker got 29. And then Giannis was in third place as the third place runner up there. Did they get it right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely right this year. To me, it was no contest.
Absolutely. I I think SGA was the best player on the best team, and he's certainly MVP worthy. Those his numbers are outstanding. His his efficiency in the regular season was, I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And and he plays on both ends.
Yes. His
That's
efficiency is remarkable. This is
that's
off
that's
the
the big
charts.
part. Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays on both ends, and he's kind of a throwback. Like he he lives in the mid range,
Loves the mid range. Yes.
Hmm.
gets to the cup. A lot of people don't like the fact that he gets to the free throw line a lot, but I mean he's a big physical guy. He's a big guard.
Mm-hmm.
6'5", 6'6". And
Yeah.
uh, you could hear a lot of the guys say like he's stronger than what he looks like. Like I mean he's a bully. So I I'm I'm happy for the young man, and I'm rooting for him to go all the way.
Yep, I like this team. I love that that their offense is predicated on defense. I
Yeah.
love that.
Well, and that's one thing. And when you get in the playoffs and you get in the like tournament style basketball, you got to hang your hat on something,
Yep,
and
Yeah.
they hang their hat on defense.
yep.
Yeah.
And um, all of them buy in to the defensive scheme, and they're deep. They play 10 every
They are
night,
deep.
Every
at
night.
at least 10 every night.
That is true. That is true. I do love their rotation. How they do that, like get all those bodies in.
Mhm.
And they
You know.
just bring out the gym, man. They just flat out run you out the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be, I think we talked about it one time. It's gonna be really about the consistency of that second guy, like who's gonna be like they're consistent with them,
yeah.
Hmm.
whether they're
Jalen
gonna pull
Williams
off a
has to step
championship.
up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Um,
man, is he hurt for game two? Is he gonna play game two?
I don't know. Y'all think Indiana, New York is going 7?
For New York's sake, it doesn't need to go 7. Indiana is Indiana is definitely deeper than New York.
Yeah.
Oh, by far. Yeah. If it goes seven, the Knicks will be in trouble.
It, the Knicks need to they need to find a way to put this away in 5 or 6 at the
That's gonna
most.
be tough.
Oh, it's going to be tough because I don't think the Knicks can beat them, in my opinion.
I have a hard time finding a reason why the Knicks would win the series myself.
Oh
Besides,
man. What?
besides just the hoopla around the city, but
That
team
energy
wise,
now? The hoopla isn't enough, the energy ain't enough to carry them.
Is
that Indiana's
the
roster
energy ain't enough. That roster over there
is a
in
beast.
Indiana is deep, wide, and continuous, and and they have a heck of a coach over there. I don't think Tibbs can match up.
Yeah. Tibbs is gonna have to play. Well, Cameron Payne is gonna have to play a lot more than what he's been playing. Like he's
Hmm.
gonna bring you something. McBride
McBride needs
has
to
to
play
step it
more.
up. Yeah, he got to step it up a little bit. Mitchell Robinson has been playing pretty decent coming in, so they got a solid 3 there. Beyond that,
Tibbs only played 7 or 8 though,
I know, I know,
and
I know.
and Carlisle is going to wear him out because he's going to play 9 or 10.
That's fair. Yeah,
And
I'm rolling with New York though.
I I just got to go with the better coach. The better coach is Carlisle.
No arguments for me there. I like Rick Carlisle a lot. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see New York and Minnesota since they had that big trade. Like that'd be great. But I think we're gonna get
that ain't gonna happen.
Indiana, Oklahoma City. I think what we're gonna get.
Mm, okay, you agree with that,
See,
Carl? I got Oklahoma and New York.
uh, I'm 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 with my brother Carlin.
All right, this one is recorded this time. I didn't go back to find that last recording to prove how I was right. I already know I was right in what I said. Maybe I should still go back and find that recording just so you know.
Go ahead and find it, Cameron. Please,
Let's find it. Well, you're turning your back
please
on
find it.
Indiana now, though.
But I'm not turning my back. I'm not. It's not a turn your back. They were a surprise sleeper team for me. Somebody could get it done. They got where they need to be. But right now, the Knicks, I feel it in the air. It's that New York City magic, baby.
I want it to be New York City Magic. I really do, but it's gonna be tough.
And we shall see. Well, let's have a little bit of fun on the way here on out. Out of this podcast today, and talk about Mr. Bill Belichick and 73-year-old Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old Jordan Hudson. So the 73-year-old stunned the world when his relationship with the former cheerleader was confirmed last year. Excuse me, like I can't talk right now. Having opted to date someone almost half a century younger than him, things initially appeared to be going smoothly before a controversial interview last month very quickly turned the tide. Now, over the past few weeks, Bellchick and Hudson have never faced such scrutiny. If y'all saw that CBS Sports release clip of the 24-year-old shutting down a question regarding their relationship, about how they met each other and all this stuff. And they've been putting out all kind of fires from friends and family and colleagues and UNC itself. But despite all the recent backlash, Belichick has come forward to confirm that he is happy in his relationship with Hudson and that their romance does not interfere with his personal life amid concerns of her influence on his head coaching duties with the Tar Heels. What's being reported now is that another major turn is happening, fellas. They are saying that the couple may be engaged. She at least told one person that they are engaged, and now Belichick seems to have backed up those claims.
Oh no, Bill.
TMZ reports that on the name of his boat, located in surrounding Nantucket, off of Massachusetts. He has in the Roman numerals the number 8 rings to represent his 8 Super Bowl rings. That must be wonderful to have 8 Super Bowl rings.
Jesus.
And so he added to it now and said 1 plus 8, the Roman numeral 1 plus 8 rings, seemingly indicating that there is an extra ring in play here. Now, fellas, we were very hard on Mr. Shannon Sharp. We were very hard on some other people and the old men dating the young women. What's going on here? Are we letting Mr. Bill Belichick live, or are we giving him a pass, or does he need to be read for filth for this relationship?
When did he start dating her?
A year ago.
How old was she?
23.
All right. How old was the girl that Shannon was dating when he started dating her?
19 when he started talking to her.
Ew.
I think he was 20 when they started. Your fan. Not the silence.
So that girl couldn't even buy a drink.
At least she could get into the club.
At least,
Okay.
at least the one Bill was messing with could go get a drink.
It is a wider gap, though. Bill is much older than Shannon.
Yeah, Bill is a couple years older than Shannon, but
Not you stunned. You're stumped now. I mean, they saying what the reports are. I mean, Pablo was the first one that started dropping stuff and saying how UNC kicked her out and wasn't allowing her in the facilities. They denied that report and said that ain't true. But he's saying like the family's having all these issues and they're not happy about this. I think the ex, I saw something that happened recently about Bill's ex confronted Jordan at some party.
What's the deal with the Hard Knocks? Were they supposed to be on Hard Knocks? UNC?
Yes.
But UNC canceled it because of all the hoopla around Jordan. Is what I heard. So to me, Bill is breaking his cardinal rule. His rule is always don't be a distraction. Bill, you are the biggest distraction of the summer. And I think some parents may be off put by it. I can see that happening, maybe hurting some recruits or something. But at the end of the day, she's not 19. She's 23. She's old enough. If Anna Nicole Smith could get a billionaire at 95, at 20 years old, let Bill have his fun. But he should not marry this girl. What is he doing? Somebody help him. Call 911. Don't marry her. Just have fun with her.
You know,
Let the man live. He don't have many more years.
Does he have dementia? Something's going on.
something's going on. This ain't the Bill we know.
No.
Speaking of hard knocks too, like the report was, I don't know if this is confirmed or if it's real, but they said that Jordan did seek content approval and partial ownership of UNC's Hard Knock series.
Oh, I know they're gonna say hell no to that. You ain't owning nothing, girl. Little girl. She trying to make a play. Who she think she is?
She ain't no dummy.
Well,
I see.
these young influencers, they know how to.
They know the
how to make.
game.
Yeah, they know the game, man.
I'm mad at how Carl over here is just, he's at a loss for words. He don't know where to go with this
He can't
story.
criticize Bill, man. He can't do it.
Well, to me, is just a little bit different than Shannon's.
I can see that.
It's a little bit different. This girl has a little bit more maturity than the one Shannon was messing with there. And the other thing is, Bill, he stayed true to the game.
What you mean?
Shannon, he did RG3.
Oh, I got you. I'm tracking. I'm following.
You follow him?
That does make a difference. I'm not gonna lie. That does make somewhat of a difference.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of a difference.
And the stuff that that little 19-year-old was saying was not what Jordan's saying. She's not saying put black babies in me and stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's just on a different class level.
Yeah.
So we
at least we know this girl's not dumb. She's not a dumb bimbo.
It doesn't matter that, Bill's children are 38 and 41 respectively, and she's 24. I mean, totally his grandchild right here.
No. When I'm Bill's age,
Hey,
if I live to be Bill's age, I'm looking for 20-year-olds myself. Please.
Y'all are great. Look, you know what? I might need to get some other brothers whenever I turn old, because if I'm around here chasing some little 20-something-year-old that's about to run my pockets and run me for everything I got, y'all gonna be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead for it, yeah."
All I'm gonna say to you, Cameron, is you can't take it with you, son.
You can't take it with you.
Hey, I ain't seen no Brinks truck in the graveyard.
I can't with y'all. I'm not gonna let this man live. He needs to be red for filth along with all these other bozos out here. Well, live your life, Bill. I guess I'd be like my brother. I talk out of both sides of my neck like Trump.
Hey, as long as Carolina wins the national championship, you can do what you want to.
They ain't gonna do that.
You see Matt Brown throwing shade?
He mad, boy. He is mad. Oh, they
They
lowered the
ain't
academic
winning no
standard.
national
They did
championship.
this. They did that.
We'll see what it brings.
And Mac, you old son. Go somewhere and sit down.
Please. You gave up 75 points to James Madison or somebody last year.
Go somewhere and sit
Whoever that
down.
was.
You
Go
old
somewhere.
son.
Oh gosh. On that note, we're gonna let Bill live. My brothers are giving him a pass. I am not. But with that said, it's been a wonderful time, brothers. You got any closing thoughts?
I want to give a shout out to Angel Reese, the first player and the fastest player. The fastest player to 450 points and 450 rebounds in WNBA history in 35 games. Keep doing what you do, girl. Miss them layups to get your own rebound. Pad them stats.
Yes. Love that. Ooh, and on that Angel Reese vein, I do want to give some more love to Angel Reese and Magic Johnson together, who have come together
Oh yeah.
to form their own little foundation here, and together they're teaming up with both of their individual respective foundations that already do great work, but they have a program that's called the Wealth Playbook, and they're targeting high school seniors to teach about financial literacy and building good credit and budgeting and all these things. A thing that they're unrolling. That's very dope, very needed for our
Yes.
communities. So much props. That's what you should be talking about, RG3.
Hello.
I agree. And I just want to give a shout out to my brothers. Excellent job on the 1,000 views. You guys are amazing. And I appreciate you guys for allowing me to just tag along with you.
Oh, you doing more than tagging. You bringing the thunder.
All right. Till next time.
Till next time.
Till next time, America.
This has been a Rosie B production. Follow the Parker's Couch on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Podbean, and wherever you get your podcast sourcing.